So I hope you enjoyed a couple of the photos there, the sneak preview of the final build of the 500 EXC-F. So I'm very, very happy with the finished product of this. I'm really looking forward to getting out and riding the bike for what it is and what I've built it into. But before I get to that, we're going to focus on the final parts that I installed on this bike. So today we're going to be focusing on the Rade Garage Rally Tower. We're going to be installing the Emporor Racing Radiator guard, Tacomoto fork skins, Acerbis fork seal guards. We're going to be also installing the Acerbis Swingarm guards, and then 2 fuel tanks. So the first fuel tank is the Rade Garage Auxilary tank, which doubles as a skid plate for this bike and has I think it's fuel capacity of around 8 litres. Also going to install the Acerbis aftermarket tank, which is a 4-gallon or 15-litre tank. So altogether roughly around the 23-24 litre mark on the fuel capacity of this bike, which should get me about 400 or 500 kilometers of range. So very happy with that. And yeah, I'd just like to thank you again for following this journey, and more videos to come in the future. But let's get into the final build. Here's a preview of all the parts required for the tower installation. First, we need to install the Rally Tower mounting clamps on the frame. Once all electrics are connected, guide wiring into the tower itself. This part can be a bit finicky. Tighten the tower to the clamp with the screws provided. Time for my favourite tool. If in doubt, hammer it out. Comment your favourite tool in the video chat. Tighten down all screws with nuts and Loctite. Next, we have to create indents to mount the steering angle limiter. This helps protect the steering dampener if installed. Carry out the same on the opposite side. And fit the steering angle limiter itself. Time to wire up the Tacomoto turn signals. These turn signals double as a daytime running light. Plug in the Y splitter to install both headlights. Once both headlights are installed, remember to adjust the angle. Finally, install the windscreen. Moving on to the radiator guard, make sure to install all bolts with Loctite. This piece takes a lot of vibration from the frame when riding. This is a Rade Garage header and comes as part of the auxiliary tank to allow for fitment of both tank and exhaust. Next up is the Tacomoto heat seal fork skins. Remove fork to fit and heat once fork is reinstalled on the bike. These skins will not fit through the triple clamps. Finally, for the forks, fit the Acerbis seal guards. Here's a preview of the Rade Garage auxiliary tank and installation parts. Firstly, remove the original fuel pump and install in the auxiliary tank. Install foam dampeners on the frame to minimize frame wear. Next up is the auxiliary tank mounting brackets, fit to both the front and the rear of the frame. Remember to only conduct the final tighten once all screws are in place. Lastly is the carbon roost guard. Here we have the aftermarket Pinit fuel filter. This connects up the rest of the plumbing for the fuel lines. Connect the electrics for the fuel pump and cable tie in place. To link both tanks, we need to drill a hole for the connector. Use wire to feed the male connector into the tank. Tighten down your connector and make sure you don't forget the O-ring. Close off the top tank and coat the O-ring with grease to prevent it drying out. Test fit the top tank on the frame, and this will allow you to measure the piping to link both tanks. With both tanks installed and connected, I can now start the test for leaks. Finally, the installment of the Acerbis magnetic swing arm guards.